Assalamu alaikum ji, this is Nimra. Welcome back once again from CXO Global Forum. CXO Global Forum is an emerging knowledge sharing platform with having lots of members on the board. Um, Today we have with us Mr. Ali Akhai, head of Daraz Express. चलिए उनसे मिलते हैं, उनसे बात करते हैं. अस्सलाम वालेकुम sir.
Walaikum salam.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm good. Thank you for joining us today, sir.
Sure.
Sir, first of all, tell us about yourself, your brief introduction, how did you reach there, and about your academic career.
Sure. My name is Ali Akhai. I lead Daraz Express for Daraz in Pakistan. I joined Daraz back in 2018, approximately a little more than 2.5 years since I'm here. I joined back then as a fleet manager. It was back then when Daraz was setting up Daraz Express, shortly after Alibaba took over. And I joined in as a fleet manager. I worked in various roles now. After the fleet manager, I was leading the head of last mile operations and expansion across Pakistan. Recently, at the start of this year, I've taken on the new role, which was leading the Raz Express. Prior to joining the Raz, I was pursuing an MBA. I was based in Barcelona, doing my MBA from Isade Business School. Prior to that, I was in Pakistan working for Damco, which is a sister concern for Maersk. As my last role there was a supply chain manager, leading a team of international clients, looking after the supply chains end to end. And prior to that, I did my undergrad from UK University of Manchester. So I graduated in 2010, joined Maersk, 5.5 years at Maersk, went for my MBA, came back and joined Daraz.
Thank you so much, sir. Great. Acha, my first question is, what is disruption for you?
Disruption for me is it's in terms of tech. It's known as challenging the status quo with technology anywhere. So any industry that is challenged with respect to technology, new technology coming in, and fresh newer companies coming in into that industry with better technology, I think that is what disruption is for me. Because if you look at a lot of companies like food deliveries, like ride hailing, like e-commerce, they've challenged the status quo of the existing industry. How trade was happening prior to e-commerce, it was very different. How was the taxi ride hailing service, the taxi service prior to ride hailing? If you look at food delivery was very on a very low scale. We couldn't imagine food delivery from all restaurants or restaurants that did not offer food delivery. So it's significantly disrupted the industry that they're in.
Okay. Sir, how do you see startups in Pakistan?
I think startups, there's a lot of opportunity in Pakistan, mainly because there's a lot of potential. It's just the start of it. If we look at the West, we're easily 10 years behind. So for startups, it's a good opportunity. It's a good place where you can get traction. We're still moving from non-tech towards tech, more digitization coming along. There's a lot of potential in terms of opportunities not just with regard to any one particular industry, because digitization, in terms of digitization, we're far behind as compared to our neighboring countries as well. So there's a lot of room to bring in ideas, and we do not even have to reinvent the wheel. We can look at what different companies are doing around the world, and we just can bring those ideas to Pakistan, and they will do wonderfully well. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for growth for startups as well. And given the potential of the market, I think there's a good opportunity in terms of getting funding as well. So if you look at the last 1 year, there are a lot of good local startups that have acquired funding, international funding and local funding as well. So that just tells us that there are a lot of good ideas and there is a lot of potential in the market. That's why an investor is willing to put in money on the idea.
Yes. Okay. Sir, what is the importance of data for business and how it can make impact on the growth of business?
So I think data is very important. I'll tell you with some examples. In terms of,
Hmm.
there are a lot of buzzwords: big data analytics, and predictive analytics. There are a lot of big words going on, but often we use these buzzwords, but we're not using the data in the right manner.
Hmm.
Because in terms of all these tech companies, they have a lot of data points in terms of customer behavior, consumer demand generation, and in terms of what the potential new markets look like.
Hmm.
So if rightly used, they can really pave the way for a lot of new companies, SMEs as well. Because in general, if I look at it, how e-commerce has paved the way in tier two and tier three cities now of
Hmm.
Pakistan. Previously, 2 to 3 years ago, we couldn't imagine so much demand, so many orders coming out of these cities. But over the time, education of the customer, building that trust and comfort zone for the customer, and showing on ground presence has a lot to do with it, and
Hmm.
that can only be done if you see some sort of data to ideate and realize some potential in a market, and then use that
Hmm.
data to locate yourself with that as well. So in general, like let's take an example of a delivery service. You can plan
Hmm.
your delivery fleet, you can plan your delivery locations based on where the customer is located. When you look
Hmm.
at seller drop-offs, you can base yourself for seller drop-offs and seller convenience with their proximity, nearness to markets, and where they're located. So I think data has a lot to do with it, and I think data has a lot of insight that can be generated if you use the right tools and the right softwares. When we often talk about data, the first picture usually that if you haven't used the tools for the data analytics, the first thing you can imagine is someone playing on an Excel file trying to make sense of that data. But
Hmm.
when we talk about big data, it's all about having so many numbers that an Excel file cannot able will not be able to compute. You have to use some comprehensive tools that will be able to generate some comprehensive insights for you. That
Hmm.
can result in predictive analytics as well. So if something is happening, your data would be able to predict it. In a week's data, you might not be able to figure out trends or patterns, but if you look in a holistic picture, 6 months, 8 months, or a year's data, you might be able to pick out trends that were previously impossible to pick out because those sort of tools were not available to analyze such huge data sets.
Hmm. Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, coronavirus hits the world in 2019. Around the globe, it affected adversely, whether it's public sector, corporate sector, agricultural sector. What was your strategy during COVID-19?
So COVID was an unprecedented time. From being an
Hmm.
operations manager, I can tell you uh, it's something that it happens once in a 100 years,
Hmm.
and it's something that there's no right or wrong answer when it hit. There was no set line or rules or instructions that anyone could have followed. So it
Hmm.
was more about flexibility and agility.
Hmm.
And one of the advantages we had, Daraz, being the e-commerce in the industry, was
Hmm.
e-commerce benefited positively because
Yes.
when everything was going into a lockdown, it was the
Hmm.
e-commerce that was at the forefront, which was allowed to do the deliveries. Customers were ordering online. We saw a lot of organic boost in terms of customer
Hmm.
coming onto our website and ordering a lot of things. Our groceries witnessed 8 to 9x increase in terms of people who previously did not used to believe in buying fresh groceries online were now
Hmm.
trying it out. So actually that really helped us out. I think one of the
Yes.
strategies that we did in at the right at the start, we were very proactive with it. Initially, we saw it coming. We were very proactive in ensuring that we were very much in accordance with the government rules and regulations and policies as well.
Hmm.
Uh, be it masks, be it alcohol swabs for our heroes, the delivery agents
Yes.
that we have, because they're the
Hmm.
forefront, and that's where the trust comes in, where the customer actually interacts with you. And this is the first time that we felt that the convenience part of an e-commerce, that you can order from home and it will come to your house
Yes.
delivered
Hmm.
at your convenience, was this was the first time we could actually demonstrate to the customer as well. So
Hmm.
we wanted so when we brainstormed on it, one of the things that we were very much adamant about was how can we build that trust for the customer when he might think that uh, is it safe to pick that package from the delivery agent who's outside my house?
Hmm.
Should it be left on the door? So that's the sort of trainings that we got into in terms of delivery and logistics. We mapped the end-to-end customer journey, and we thought about the different problems or concerns the customer could have along the journey.
Hmm.
So we trained our entire team in terms of how to deal with the customer in terms of expectation. If the customer did not want to interact physically, meaning take the parcel from
Hmm.
your hand, then we could offer them an option of leaving it at their doorstep. They could pick it up. The alcohol swab was for swiping the package clean while handing over.
Hmm.
But if the customer insists that they just want the alcohol swab separately and they'll do it themselves, they should be given the opportunity. So being more flexible and building that trust with the customer is something that we were very focused on, because it is all about the customer. It wasn't
Hmm.
about how we do it, what we do. It was about what the customer expects us to do, and every
Hmm.
customer could be different in that context as well. There were some people who
Okay.
did not want to come out. They just wanted us to leave the package at the door. They will pick it up, hand over the cash, or leave the cash on the side, and we'll pick it up. So that's the level of trust that we wanted to build. And I think in the entire journey that we were mapping around COVID, the core focus, center of focus for us was the customer, as to what the customer might feel and how we can help them transition from that uncertainty to a trust level where they would start trusting the Daraz, that okay, I'm getting everything at my house. I'm convinced that in terms of safety and security, about the precautions that the company is taking, and
Hmm.
how and I would like to continue ordering with them.
Hmm. Perfect. Sounds great. Okay. Sir, how we can make Pakistan a better country?
I think Pakistan, you often see a lot of people criticizing the government, the politicians, and different people along the journey. But I think one of the most important aspects of making Pakistan a great country again is to take responsibility. I think each one of us needs to take that responsibility. We would criticize during the rainfall that Karachi was flooded. But
Hmm.
if you look at the root cause, if you look at what caused that flooding, because the water was seeping into the streams, gutter lines that we have, but what was choking them was how much garbage we throw on the streets, right? So I
Hmm.
think it's a collective responsibility. I don't think any one political party, any one
Yes.
government, any
Hmm.
one person can bring about that change. I think it has to be
On
it has to be
individual level.
every individual has to contribute.
Hmm.
Otherwise,
Hmm.
otherwise we will only be wishful that things would happen, and it can
Hmm.
happen because if you look at the same people when they visit a different country or go abroad, they do not do the things that they're doing in Pakistan. So it's not
Hmm.
about that the country is stopping them, or more of a habit, or it's more of a how you see the country as well. So I think first thing is accepting the responsibility that it's on me. It's not on everyone else except me. It's on me. If anyone is throwing out trash, I it's my responsibility to stop them. Everyone would be critical of what's happening around the country, but if you look within our own homes, we would find a lot of those examples within our homes as well, which we need to first point out and
Hmm.
curate in a way that they are in the right direction before we start pointing out fingers to our neighbors or anyone in our outside our house.
Hmm. Okay. Sir, what motivates you to get out of the bed in the morning?
Interesting question. So
Hmm.
for me it's more about creating an impact. So I what gets me out of bed and onto work or onto my objective or my vision is creating an impact, being leading a group of team members who is doing something that is impacting the country and the nation in industry, or a set of consumers or our customers to making a change or bring about a change. So,
Hmm.
like for instance, Daraz has been an industry leader in terms of e-commerce. It's been paving a lot of way. We've been involved in a lot of key education metrics for the customers, for the sellers,
Hmm.
for everyone in terms of all our stakeholders, be it delivery partners, be it payment partners. So it's an industry that's been new, relatively new for Pakistan. Everyone along the chain is learning in terms of what value can we add. We're trying out new things. We're learning along the process, along the journey as well. And I think that's something very important to me in terms of being able to create that impact in a process, in a journey, uh, being able to deliver faster to the customer, enhancing the entire customer experience along the way. And it's a learning curve. It's not something that any I or anyone else within the industry, outside the industry, or even in the other industries or companies can promise that this will change overnight. It's a learning curve that will happen year on year, month on month, and there's a lot of tech involved, which does not happen overnight. We have to pick and choose battles as well. So I think that's the best part of it, that being able to create that impact and pick and choose those battles every day, that is
Hmm.
impacting the company, the country, and the industry as a whole, is something that keeps me motivated and up and running.
Hmm. Okay. Sir, Pakistan is having 60%, in fact, more than 60% of youth. How do you see youth of Pakistan?
I think, with respect to youth and the overall potential of the market, I think it's on the higher side because of the youth that we have. We really see a lot of
Hmm.
countries in the West that look forward to having a young population, and we have
Hmm.
a very young population that can contribute in many ways.
Hmm.
I think that's a potential. I think there's a lot of skill set that we're missing in terms of the semi skill set as well.
Hmm.
If you look at how different countries operate, so it's very common for students to take on part-time jobs abroad in different countries as well. But here, our students are very limited in terms of what sort of jobs opportunities they will get. Everyone is very corporate focused. Entrepreneurship is something we should explore. There's a lot of opportunity and a lot of potential there. And I think, when you look at startups, you look at a lot of young people who are trying to make something out of the idea. And I think one of the social stigma that we have is, to be successful, right? So right after university, everyone has to have a corporate job and be successful, be earning money, and then move on with the remaining milestones of their life. So I think, with youth, I think it's the earlier years of your life that you can experiment and you can have that opportunity. And I think one of the good things that started happening with a lot of tech companies coming in, even if startups fail, that's part of the journey. There's a lot of transferable skills and ideas that go into building something, making a structure out of nothing, an idea, just an
Hmm.
idea. So even if something doesn't work out, it's always, a lot of the most of these tech companies appreciate people if the startup doesn't work, and then if they want to move into a corporate job, they accept it. Whereas previously in conventional jobs, it wasn't easy to convince someone that, okay, I was trying a venture, it didn't work out, it failed, but I'd like to get into a corporate job now. So that was a difficult phase and difficult journey. But I think the mindset is also changing of the industry and overall of the tech side. And a lot of the conventional companies are now more open to getting people with innovative ideas, and people who are more disruptive and open-minded in that context as well.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Sir, hello.
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Sir, I have second last question. I would like you to tell us and tell our audience about Daraz Express. What is specifically Daraz Express?
Okay. So the Raz Express is basically the Raz's in-house logistics wing.
Hmm.
It started back in 2018. That was when the idea was started. We started off with one city, Karachi, then moved on to Lahore and Islamabad. And slowly, with the passage of time, we've grown out to 20 cities with physical presence of the Raz Express, and 20 additional cities with our partner program as well. So in total, the
Hmm.
Raz Express is present in 40 cities. What's the idea behind Daraz Express? Daraz Express is Pakistan's largest e-commerce logistics company. It's a purpose-built company that is built for logistics for e-commerce
Hmm.
business. When I precisely mention e-commerce, it's all about speed. When you talk about e-commerce, there's a lot of process with respect to reverse logistics. Our tech is designed in a way where we can
Hmm.
optimize and do all these things with much more speed as compared to conventional logistics companies.
Hmm.
So we started off in 2018 with a team of 50 people. Now we're spread across 40 cities with a staff count of approximately 2,500 people. We have logistics facilities, approximately 65 plus facilities across Pakistan.
Hmm.
And in terms of vehicle count, it's more than 100 plus vehicles, excluding the bikes that our delivery agents or our pickup agents have. So that's the size that we've grown over the last 2 years. and it's been all about optimizing the e-commerce logistics. Currently, we're dedicatedly working with Daraz, but in the
Hmm.
upcoming year, we will be moving out and looking out for opportunities to work with other e-commerce ventures, other
Hmm.
partners, or who are looking for logistics partners who are looking for end-to-end solutions for fulfillment and delivery as well. So that's something we will be doing in the upcoming year. So it's Daraz Express is basically our in-house logistics wing that looks after 70% of our deliveries across Pakistan as of now.
Hmm. So basically, you guys are making life easier, especially in this situation when Corona is all around and people are stuck at their homes.
Yes, absolutely. So all
Hmm.
I'll just like to mention that all credit goes to our teams as well, who've been
Hmm.
standing beside us. They've been the front line. Uh, uh, we've been trying our best to equip them with all the SOP compliant
Hmm.
accessories with respect to mask and other things as well with respect to sanitizers for them in and out of the
Hmm.
facilities, helping them maintain social distancing as well. It's not been an easy challenge for us. It's been a difficult challenge because within our given square footage of operations, maintaining social distance is a challenge. So
Hmm.
we've spread out our operations across
Yes.
a number of hours across the day, and I think it's been an exceptional experience. It's not been I wouldn't say it's been an easy experience. It's been a journey that's taught us a lot. It's taught us to be
Hmm.
agile, flexible, and more constrained with respect to expectations of the customers because that's the audience that we are here to serve.
Hmm. Okay. Thank you so much, sir. One last question. I would like you to share your favorite quote with us, then I'll wind up the show.
In terms of my favorite quote, I have a quotation from one of my favorite authors. Her name is Brené Brown.
Hmm.
She's a research professor who's spent the last 2 decades studying vulnerability, empathy, shame, and courage. And one of my favorite quotes that she has is sometimes the bravest and most important thing you can do is to just show up. And I
Hmm.
think it fits. This quote has always resonated with me, and it couldn't be a better time to bring this out in a COVID year, where there is absolute uncertainty everywhere. And being a manager or a team leader or leading a team of professionals, it's not about giving direction. It's not about helping them achieve their goals. That goes without saying. That are tasks of a manager or a leader. But sometimes it's just providing them some visibility and which being there for them when they are going through their most uncertain times. And I think that's the best quote I can resonate with, especially this year. Is sometimes
Hmm.
it's that's the best thing you can do for someone is just show up so that they have the confidence that they have someone behind them to back
Well
them up
said. Hmm.
if something is uncertain about it.
Well said. Sarah, thank you so much. It was absolutely phenomenal to have you on my show today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. It was a
Thank you,
pleasure.
sir. Allah Hafiz. Bye bye.
Yes.